Okay, the recording is on. So welcome to Zoom Basics. Before I share my screen, I want to do two exercises with you guys. In order for us to give you credit for the workshop, we are going to need your full name on the Zoom screen. So if you don't know how to do it, I'm going to show you right now. What I first want you to do is hover your mouse over your picture, over your screen. So when you see the three dots to the right next to mute, click one time on that dot, and the third item down should say rename. You see how my name right now says SDHC Workforce? I'm going to change it to my name. And then you click OK, and now it's changed to my name. We got another one joining, so let's make sure that she runs through this as well. While we're waiting for her to connect, I also want to do another thing for you. I want you to send a chat. Type hello in the chat. You can type it to everyone. You can send a message to one of your friends on here, or you can send it to me, whichever's most comfortable. I want everyone to get practice sending a chat. If you don't know where the chat button is, hover your mouse down at the bottom. There's the three dots again, click on more, and you'll see chat, which will be the first item up there. And when the chat opens, down at the bottom where it says to, you can either send it to everyone, or you can hit the drop-down button and select a name. So if you want to send a private chat during the meeting, like, hey, what are you doing for lunch? Or you can do that in the private. If you want to send a message to everyone, just leave it as everyone. And type your message. Say hello. Hi, nice to meet you. Just get used to using that. While you guys are doing that, Robbie, I want you to do the first exercise. If you're listening, I want you to hover your mouse over the three dots. Click on the dots, and where it says rename, click on rename, and type your first and last name. We're going to need it for so you can get credit for the workshop, okay?
And just as an FYI, if they're having issues, they can unmute and ask, and we'll walk them through, right, Del?
Yeah, I have not muted anybody, just because I want this. The reason why I haven't muted everybody is because I know that this can be the first time using Zoom, and as I sharing my screen and I'm going through parts of it, if you have a question, I want you to go ahead and just unmute yourself and ask the question. But make sure if you don't have a question, please keep yourself muted just so we can have some control of the back noise. Robbie, I'm still waiting for you to change your name. Type in the chat that you can hear me or can't hear me, or you're having problems. Or if you need help, if you need me to go over that again. Or you can unmute yourself.
Unmute. Okay.
Okay.
The ellipses, right?
Yeah. Hi, Robbie. Yeah. So.
Hi.
So hover your mouse over your screen where it says Robbie, over your picture.
Mm-hmm.
Click on the three dots.
Okay.
See where it says rename.
Mm-hmm.
Click on rename.
Okay.
Type your name in the box, your full name or your first and last name, and then hit OK.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Second exercise is I want you to go to the chat. So either hover, if the chat's already up for you, well, let's do this. Hover over the more, where it says more, the three dots. Click on the more, and the top should say chat. So the
I'm on chat.
Okay. So down at the bottom where it says to, you have the option to hit in the drop down and type in a message just to whichever selected person, or you can type a message to everyone. So in the message where it says type here, type hello or hi or welcome, whichever you choose.
I'm sorry, I didn't even see that. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. So down at the bottom, you have the chat up? Yeah. So down at the bottom where it says to, and then there's a line that says type message here.
I don't have that.
Are you on your cell phone?
No, I'm on the computer.
Show your screen.
Okay.
You may want to show your screen though.
Okay, I don't know if it'll show it though.
Okay.
I'll try, yeah, because I don't know if it'll show the chat screen, but let me try.
Oh, type message here. Okay, I see it.
Yeah, you
Never
got
mind.
it?
Here it is.
Okay, perfect.
Hey,
Yes,
we're not
go
like
and
you
type
young
hello.
kids, okay? You know, we're when I was on computers in college, we still have floppy disks, okay?
Yeah, I hear you. I was the same. Yeah, we were forced into learning this, but it's actually a really cool tool. It's really easy to use once you get comfortable with it. Zoom
Okay.
is really easy. It reminds me a lot of like Outlook, or like email, in terms of setting things up.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So Robbie, you probably didn't hear this in the beginning, but this workshop is being recorded. So if you can please turn off your screen if it's already off, and unless you want to be on the recording so they can see you. I'm going to go ahead and turn my screen off as well, and I'm going to share my screen to go over some of the basics of Zoom, okay? And I do have some other coworkers on here that can help in case I don't know the answer, but I'll do the best I can. And I'm going to show a couple of videos as well, okay?
Okay.
So go ahead and mute yourself, and I'll get started.
You can help her by taking her off of the video if you want, Del.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, okay, perfect. Let's see, I heard somebody join. I want to make sure. Oh, maybe not. Okay. So this is a reference guide that I received from a coworker that I thought was really good that I can go through. It's not necessarily, I'm going to show you afterwards how to join a Zoom meeting, but this one is going to be more for people that kind of know how to join, but want to use Zoom to maybe schedule a meeting and how you can customize your meeting options, okay? And also we're going to go a little bit over how to invite attendees once you have the workshops or the meeting scheduled, okay? So if you have any questions going through, please stop me. Let me know if I'm going too fast, okay? I'm probably not going to cover integrations and live streaming because I don't know how to do that. So we're just going to cover the basics for now, okay? Okay, so first thing, so once you log on to your Zoom account, so when you're logging on to your Zoom account, not joining a meeting, but when you're logging on to your Zoom account and you want to schedule a meeting, this is kind of the example of how you're going to do it. Everybody see this over here to the right? Let me see if I can move this out of the way. Okay, so where it says when, and it has the default date and a default time and default AM, PM. So you want to select your date first, okay? So once you select your date, you select your time, okay? If you want to schedule it at 9:30 in the morning or 10:30 in the evening, if you're going to have a Zoom happy hour, one thing I will make sure that you remind you to do is make sure you select the AM and the PM. It's not going to change for you. There's been a couple times where I've scheduled a workshop for 2 o'clock and I look on my calendar and it's set for 2 AM. So I have to go all the way back to Zoom to change it. And the one thing about Zoom is it doesn't change it on your personal calendar. You'll have to go back to your personal calendar and change it. So it's very important that you make sure that you have the date and the time and the AM, PM set, okay? Most Zoom, if not all Zoom meetings are automatically scheduled for 1 hour unless you have the upgraded one, which most of you probably don't have. So an example is about 2 weeks ago, we had a Zoom graduation party for my daughter on my personal Zoom account, and it's just the basic one. And of course, it ran over. Fortunately, I got a message from Zoom when the time was running out that they were going to grant me another hour. So that may not always be the case. So make sure that you're monitoring your time and your duration of your meetings. If you want to upgrade, you can have more time on Zoom, you can do that as well. Okay, the next thing is, will you host this meeting again? So is this a meeting that you plan on having once a week? Let's say you have a family member that is in another state and maybe needs to be checked in on. You can set up a reoccurring meeting, so you can have it reoccur weekly. So every week on, say, Friday, you plan on doing a Zoom meeting with your son or daughter who's away on college. They may be home right now, but this is something that you can always use in the future as well. And then you can also have an end by date. Okay, you can have an end by January of 2021, or you can change it and say, you know what, we'll just check in for the next 6 months. Okay. So can everybody still see my screen? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you can also customize the registration. Okay. This is for if you're having this is usually used for seminars. So if someone's doing a seminar and maybe it's a paid seminar and you tried to join a seminar but you weren't registered, you will be blocked and won't be allowed to join the meeting. Usually on our meetings, we unclick that because our meetings and workshops are free. So we just unclick that button and anybody who wants to join can join. Okay, and you can also select whether or not you're going to have these reoccurring. Last month we had, it seemed like, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks long of credit building workshops. And so since they were reoccurring, they were on our calendar Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for 3 weeks. And we had to click on that specific day to join each occurrence. Okay, so let's talk about customizing your meeting options. So if you have scheduling privileges for somebody else, you can change it. There's a drop down that you can change in order to have somebody else start a meeting for you. If you're not there on time, they can start the meeting for you. Meetings, it's my understanding now that in September, all meetings are going to be required to have a password. Currently, we don't have a password, but I think in September, all meetings are going to be required to have a password in order to join the meeting. I don't know if you guys recall, or maybe you guys haven't even heard, when we first all went into quarantine, Zoom was what most people used to do workshops, trainings, meetings, and they were being hacked. So my coworker had a meeting that she joined that was hacked. I fortunately have not seen it yet, but it was something that was occurring quite a bit. That was occurring quite a bit in early March and April. So now you can set it up to where you can require a password, meaning let's say you just want family and friends to join. They will have to click on the link, be logged in, and type in it's usually like a 6-digit password. It's usually numbers as well. Also, when you're setting up the meeting, you can choose whether or not you want your participants that are joining or your friends that are joining access to their video. So you can turn off their video before they join, along with their audio. I'd mentioned earlier about the workshop that we were in. We did not have an option for video or audio. It was such a huge conference that the only people that had video were the presenters and the facilitator. So we did not have options to video. The only option we had was chat. Okay, so here's now here's some more meeting options. So let's say you may be running late or may need somebody to run the workshop for you or the meeting for you. You can allow people to join the workshop before the host, okay? And I recommend that in a professional case, for example, in our workshops, I would recommend that you don't allow that, but it's your option. It's up to you to do it. Also, for the meeting itself, right here where it says schedule for, you can say myself, you can change it to naming the workshop, whichever one you want to do. I prefer muting participants upon entry. So when the person enters, it's always going to have like a doorbell. If you're the host, you're going to hear a doorbell and you're going to know that somebody entered the meeting. If you mute the people that's coming into the meeting, you'll avoid some of the background noise of maybe a kid crying or a dog barking or a doorbell ringing. You're able to mute them upon entry. So right here over to the right where I showed you about the video host. So you can always switch this to, I want me as the host, I want my video to be on, but I want the participants' videos to be off when they join, and then you'll have the option to allow them to share their video, okay? Same here with the audio, okay? We always default this to both because there are times when clients are trying to join through telephone, and computer audio, so we want to give the person joining the option, okay? If I were to say, oh, nope, you can only join through telephone, then people that want to come on, use their audio through the computer won't be allowed to do that, okay? So here's where you can make your decisions on the meeting options. So these buttons, you can unclick them all or you can click them all. It's totally up to you and your preference. Do you guys have any questions on that so far? So you can enable joining before the host. You can mute participants coming in. You can enable a waiting room. Now, a waiting room is great for workshops, big workshops, and you have someone who's an alternative host with you. Because let's say, for example, I'm giving a presentation, a person joins 15 minutes late and their microphone is on and you can hear that it could be disruptive. So a waiting room, the alternative host can go in, allow them to join and mute them as they join. You can also set it up to where only authenticated users can join, meaning they have to be logged in to Zoom in order to join. And you can set it up to where it will record the meeting automatically, okay? So I see I have some questions coming up. Let me pause real quick and go to the chat, because let's see. Okay, not questions. Okay, so
The only one I've seen, Jill, is the one asking about if there is a free Zoom service or ability to have a Zoom meeting for free.
you are on one right now. All Zoom meetings are free. They do have an upgraded system that you can upgraded program that you can use. I don't know what the price is. But as of right now, as of today, you can download the Zoom app and you can start chatting and Zooming with friends and family all over the country.
And then there's one asking, how do you set up an account?
So in order to set up account, you download the app, you type in your email address and you create your password and it sends it right to your profile and you're all set. I think there may be a authentication email that gets sent to your personal email. Once you click on that, you're good to go. You can start scheduling meetings and start chatting with friends and family.
And this is Tanisa. They have the pricing plans on their website. So
okay.
The lowest pricing plan starts out at $14.99 per month.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you, T.
For the ones that are that cost money, right? But there are free services.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
My
Most
personal one is the
people,
free one.
yeah, most people are using the free accounts. So this is just if you want something more than what the free account provides,
Yeah.
which Dale was talking about earlier. They provide you with additional time limits and
Yeah.
additional features. So if you needed to do something like that, then you can pay for a subscription.
Yeah, I will tell you that the record or the record is an option. It was the reports. So the reports is not an option for the free one. But if you pay the $14.95 or whatever, then you can review reports and usage and data on the one that's paid for. So going back to the alternative hosts are hosts that you can have that will have the same options that you'll have. So for example, if Tanisa were my alternative host, he would have the same options that I would have in terms of controls. He would be able to mute everybody. He would be able to unmute and turn off cameras, change names, those sorts of things. And it's always good to have an alternative host, especially with large groups. So once you've done all that, you will hit save. Once it saves, this is when you begin to invite the attendees. I know I'm taking a long time with this, but honestly, it's so easy to do. And I actually have a video that I'm gonna be able to show you after I go over this. So inviting attendees, all you need is their email address, okay? Regardless of if it's Google, for you, what you'll do first is you'll click on the option of the email that you have. So if you have a Google Calendar or an Outlook calendar or Yahoo, what you'll do is when you click on that Google Calendar, it's going to pop up like a calendar event would for any appointment that you put on your Google Calendar. And it's going to give you the option to invite attendees just like you do for regular scheduling an appointment for you and your daughter, because someone has a doctor's appointment. You want to make sure that they have it on their calendar. All you will need is their email address, and you can invite as many people as you would like to invite. And then once you hit save, it automatically sends the calendar event out to all your attendees, plus it saves on your account as well. Any questions so far? Oh, we got a pop-up question.
Something came up.
Yeah.
It says nope.
Oh, nope. Okay. That's good. So like I just explained, the Outlook add-on and the Google add-on and the Yahoo add-on, those are all the things that are going to pop up when you're ready to send the event out to everybody. Okay. So I think we may just about be done. So if you want to personalize your anything, you can always go to settings. On my personal one, I was able to download my picture, so I can have a professional picture, my personal picture on there. And if you want to set up the ongoing defaults, these are all the features that you can set up for your defaults. So if you have the audio or the meetings, if you want them to default for 30 minutes or you want them to default to 60 minutes, you have the option to do that under settings. Virtual backgrounds. Now, if you want to have a virtual background, you are going to have to download a virtual background. Zoom does not have virtual backgrounds to offer to you, okay? So these are all that would happen for you as your defaults. So you can run through these, select if you want these as options every time you select to schedule a meeting. These are all the options that you'll have. So if you want to have host controls all the time, if you want to offer it to everyone, you can uncheck them. Screen sharing, breakout rooms. So breakout rooms are used mainly for big conferences. a job fair I attended a few months ago. They had each employer present, and then they set up breakout rooms for each employer to chat with people one-on-one. Now, so when it comes to recording local or the cloud, it's our experience so far that the cloud is the best. And then you can always go in and it'll always be there under your Zoom account. So you won't lose it if it's saved to maybe your local computer. Okay, integrations is beyond me. T, do you have any experience with this?
I don't, simply because, well, I mean, Google is on here. So once you schedule a meeting, you can automatically transition the appointment onto your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar or anything of the sort. These other apps are, you know, like MailChimp is a newsletter application where you can like integrate Zoom information within newsletters if you send those types of things out. These other apps that I recognize are meeting apps.
Okay.
So if you want to be able to set up a meeting with folks, you know, you can set up a meeting time and then have the Zoom integrated within that meeting time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um,
So someone that doesn't have Zoom, has a different type of platform, can still be on.
right,
Gotcha.
right.
Okay.
And if you use like Acuity, which is a scheduling system, I mean, same like we use Outlook, right?
Yeah.
It integrates the same way.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, Zoom reminds me a lot of Outlook. It really does. And then I think I want to show you guys a few videos now to hopefully
And
help it.
Dale,
Go
have
ahead.
you showed them how to use the interfaces as a participant? Like the mute, the start video?
Oh yeah, we did that. We did that at the
Okay.
beginning.
Okay,
Yeah, we
cool.
did it at the beginning.
All right, perfect.
I had them all change their name. I had them all type in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to share a video. There was a question about sharing this 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 PDF that I have. What I can do is I can send it out. The only problem is I think we have everybody's email. So everybody that's on this chat today, I can email this PDF to you. Okay. So now let me try the video. Let's see if I can get this to work. We want to share computer sound, optimize our video clip, share. Okay, so the first one is how to join a meeting. And this is going to be very important for the people that we are recording this for. So let's hope this works.
Today we will be going over how to join a Zoom meeting.
Can everybody hear it?
We've got a couple options, but we'll go through the first one via email invitation.
Okay.
Once you receive an email invitation for a Zoom meeting, you can quickly view the join link from the invitation. You can click this invitation and you will be prompted to either download or launch Zoom. If you see this message waiting for host to start this meeting, that means the host has not started the meeting on their side yet, and you can go through while you're waiting on them, test your computer audio, select your input levels, select your video, and go through and select your virtual backgrounds. Your second option is to directly join Zoom meetings from the Zoom application. You can view all your upcoming meetings under the Meetings tab and quickly select Join. If you have any questions on joining a meeting, please contact us at zoom.us. Thank you.
So that was pretty quick. Did everybody, do you need me to show it again? Or was that good? Your mic is hot if you want to talk.
You can always send on the recording once it's done.
Yeah, that's true. So I want to show you, so this is what I went over just now. I want to show you the scheduling a meeting with Zoom. So I'm going to show you guys this one as well.
Why is it so blurry?
Is that better?
No.
Today we'll be going
Maybe, you know what, I'll stop sharing and I'll try it again. How about that?
Okay.
Is that better?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
how about this? Is that better?
No.
We'll be going over how quick and easy it is to schedule a Zoom meeting on the web portal. After you log into your Zoom account, select the Meetings tab and schedule a new meeting. Here you can decide on the topic, date and time, and if the meeting needs to be reoccurring. Meeting passwords are enabled by default. You can also customize the password itself. You may disable this option as needed. You can also customize the audio and video and have additional meeting options like join before host, waiting room is automatically enabled, and use features like authenticated users. After you have scheduled the meeting, select Save, and here you'll have the ability to add the meeting to your calendars like Google, Outlook, or Yahoo. You may also copy the invitation and paste it to your preferred platform. If you have any questions on scheduling a meeting, please contact us at zoom.us. Thank you.
Okay, you know, I think this will be a good one as well. Meeting controls. Can everybody still see my screen?
The audio is perfect, but this thing is so blurry. I don't even know what. I can't even read this.
I'm sorry.
It looks okay for me. So, you know, I guess hopefully everybody can see it.
Yeah. Are you on your phone?
No, I'm on my computer. I mean, everything's been great up until now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's beyond my technical skills.
Yeah, I mean, it's so bad. I can't even read this.
Okay, but so that one I actually went over and it's on the PDF that I showed before. So when I email that to you, you'll be able to follow along there as well, okay?
And what language is this in?
English.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Could you hear
it? Somebody texted saying that it was really helpful to them.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Let me try the meeting controls.
Hi, everyone. This is Farah from Zoom, and we are back to share with you some of the fundamental in-meeting controls once you launch your first Zoom meeting. So in order to walk you through, I will share my entire screen. We'll go through some of the options together. You should be able to see my desktop at this point, so you can see the Zoom meeting that's in here. Basic controls, you'll see muting and unmuting capability on the lower left-hand corner. If I were to click the mute button and try to speak, we will get a pop-up to alert you that you are muted, and this is what it'll look like. We can also use the up arrow here to select a different headset. So if you join a meeting and you're not hearing anything, you might want to double check and make sure that your AirPods or your headset is connected and configured in here. If it's not, you can click audio settings to get to an audio dashboard to help configure and test your equipment. You'll see the start and stop video option. So if you're a little nervous to start meeting over Zoom with your video on, you can simply click the video off button to show a profile picture if you've created one. Otherwise, I always recommend having video on so you can make eye contact with your audience. Communication is 70% body language. So being able to see all of your coworkers, counterparts, or people that you're working externally allows you to anticipate when someone might need to pause you to ask a question. You'll also be able to see if people are following along with what you're teaching them or speaking about. Same thing here, up arrow will allow you to select any camera equipment. Of course, the FaceTime video camera is built into my MacBook, so you can use that, or if you have an external camera, you can plug that in and Zoom will recognize it. Moving on, we have the ability for you to invite participants on the fly. Right now, there's nobody actually in this meeting with me, but if I wanted to invite one of my teammates, I could click this button and it would pop open a list of anyone that I am already connected to via Zoom. And it's as easy as selecting multiple participants. You'll see in this list here, it's going to show me the last 15 to 20 people I worked with before it goes into an alphabetical list. I can click multiple people and click the invite button in one shot, or I can copy the URL, which is the link to the meeting, and paste that into a group chat that we have going. You'll see across the top as well, you'll always have an option to email. If you're on our free version of Zoom, you probably won't see Room Systems, Zoom Rooms, or phone, but you will always be able to send an email invitation out through your default email, whether it's Outlook or Gmail. You'll also see a manage participants at the bottom. So right now, this is letting us know that only one person is connected to our meeting. If I click the button, it allows me to expand to see a list of everybody that has joined. I will always be at the top of this list if I am the host, and then everybody else will show up alphabetically in this list. Folks that unmute themselves will also bubble up to the top in case I need to hover over them and click mute. When you hover over people in the meeting, you'll always have a mute option and a drop down that will give you a few additional action items. So you can mute them, you can give them host permissions, you can remove them from the meeting if they're not supposed to be there. You'll see on the bottom, I've enabled a feature that's called non-verbal feedback. We will have a follow-up video showing you how you can enable some of these advanced settings if you'd like to use them, so stay tuned for that. But this would allow my audience to say yes or no, go faster, go slower, or even raise their hand or give an applause while we're in a meeting, so we can be interactive. I love the coffee cup. If anybody in your audience selects this, that'll show up right next to your name in this participants list. And one other thing I want to point out here is the mute all button. This is sort of our emergency red button. So if you are getting any sort of background noise or audio feedback while you're in a meeting, you can always quickly hit the mute all button to just stop it while you can identify where the background noise is coming from. The more drop down here will give you a couple additional options, things like locking the meeting for security or hearing enter and exit chimes. So I will always know when somebody joins as the host because I can hear a doorbell. We'll move on to our shared content button. This is something that you'll notice everyone in your Zoom meeting has. I love this feature so much because it gives anyone the ability to share content, not just the host. By clicking the green button, I will also get a pop-up asking me what I would like to share before I share it, so you never have to worry about sharing your messy desktop. Clicking this button, you'll see the pop-up on my screen here. I can select a specific desktop. For example, you can see my cluttered desktop over here. I will not share with you, but I can choose a clean desktop. I can choose a specific application like just a web browser or just a PowerPoint presentation. And of course, if you want to share a video on YouTube, you'll want to select that button and make sure you're clicking share computer sound and optimizing the video clip for your audience before you hit the blue share button, and then that will go live for everyone on the other end. I'll go ahead and hit the stop share button now to show you 2 or 3 features that can piggyback off of this. Let me go back to my main desktop. Once we are in shared mode, you'll notice an annotation tool. If you're the host, this bar will show up at the top with a pen tool. If you're a participant, you'll see at the top, it should say whoever the host is sharing. There should be a little drop down that says more options. If you click more options, that will bring you to your pen tool. If you don't see this for whatever reason on your screen when you are live in a meeting, you may need to hit the escape button because you might be in full screen mode. But with annotation, it'll expand into a toolkit that I can use to use the spotlight tool. I can also use it to draw shapes on my screen. And also I can just freeform anything as well. So I can say hello from Denver and draw that on here as well. So this is something that anyone in your audience, not just the host, can be annotating live while you're sharing content. So if you have questions, you can circle and say, what kind of plant is this? And I'll be able to answer that question for you. The host will also be able to clear the drawing, and the host can also use their more options to basically disable annotation for guests when they're in the meeting. You'll see disable attendee annotation. You can also see who's drawing on your screen, which is a pretty cool feature. Now, if you want to restrict others in the audience from sharing their content and make it host only, you can simply leverage the up arrow, which is right here at the bottom of my screen. You'll see this up arrow lets me go into advanced sharing, and this pop-up will allow me to make it a host only share. So this will restrict users from sharing anything out of turn that might be distracting. I'm going to go ahead and put this back onto all participants while we move to the next feature, which is in meeting chat. So if you're in a meeting and you want to chat with everyone, you can click this chat button here. You'll get a little pop-out window, and I can say hello to the audience. I can post a link to zoom.us or even to our support page. And if I want to, if there were other folks joining in this meeting, where it says everyone would be a drop down where I could simply select one other person to privately chat with. Love this feature a lot. Highly recommend testing it before you go into a live meeting, testing it with your friends or colleagues. And you'll see here that I can also merge this to my meeting window by using the triple ellipses here. And so I can have a dashboard on the right-hand side, letting me control my audience as well as chat with them at the same time. And I think the final feature that we'll review on this recording before we go into our advanced would be the ability for you to record a session. So I've already started recording, so it shows my only options are to pause the recording or stop the recording outright. Now, if I wasn't recording, I'd have a circle that would allow me to initiate the record. I'd like to note out here that only the host of the meeting has permission to record. If you are a free user, you will be able to record directly on your laptop. If you are a licensed user, you will be able to record out to the cloud, which is what I'm doing now. So this recording will come up with a link that I can share with others when it's done. Last but not least, don't forget to end the meeting. When you're done with a meeting, you'll get a pop-up allowing you to leave if you need to head out early, or end the meeting for everybody. We are always going to recommend that you make sure you end the meeting for everyone so you can go start your next meeting. Thank you again for watching this recording. I hope you learned a little bit about some of the basic controls when you start your first Zoom meeting. Let us know your feedback and stay tuned for advanced settings when you're in a meeting. Also have some recordings for reviewing Zoom on your mobile phone coming out shortly. Thanks again and happy Zooming.
Okay, so I think that's the last of it. We got to start wrapping up. Jonathan needs to start in about 10 minutes. So those videos that I showed you are actually on Zoom's website. So if you go to their website, you can review those again. Yes, I will be sending out the PDF that I showed to you guys earlier today, earlier this workshop, I should say. And then if you have any questions, you can follow up with your case manager, your caseworker, or your workforce readiness specialist. And any last questions or comments before we close down the meeting?
They're asking for the previous workshop recording. So once we've got them, we'll send them out.
Okay. Sounds good. So thank you guys very much. The next workshop, well, some of you I think are actually part of the BCO. So you'll need to log off of my workshop and get ready for the 2 o'clock one that was sent to you from Jonathan or Sheena. And we look forward. We got a number of workshops coming up next week as well. So we look forward to seeing you guys then. Thanks again, you
Bye.
guys.
Great job, Dell.
Thank you,
Excellent.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you, T.